Hello everyone, welcome back to Lyin Guitar School. So today we're going to have a look at the intro for Lyin by the Eagles. It's got a really cool kind of like country-ish kind of part to it with some double stops. Let's get into it. Before we do though, there's a free PDF of this available on the Lyin Guitar School Facebook group. First link in the description. Don't want anything from you, it's completely free, but it would be a good companion to this lesson if you've got the means to download it and print it out. Okay, let's get into the lesson. So, 3rd fret on the high E string, it's a G note, and we're in the key of G, and that's going to last for a full bar. Then we're going to play the 2nd fret of the high E string with the index finger. Now, make sure, it'd be really easy for you to do this, please don't, middle finger, index finger, because after that, the 3rd, 4th and 5th note of this phrase, we're going to do 2, 3, 2. Followed by a 0. So all of the 3s use your middle finger, all of the 2s use your index finger, and then down and up picking if you can for me. Pause the video if you need to have a go at that. If not, let's have a look at the next bar. Now, there's 3 bars of this all crammed in. It looks a lot scarier than it actually is. Let's break it down 1 bar at a time. So let's just look over here for now. So we're going to play the open B string with a downstroke, followed by a 2, a 0, and then another 2 on the G. O, 2, O, 2. 0 on the B, 2, O, 2 on the G. Followed by 1 more open B string. Now watch this, is what's called a string skip. That 2nd fret's on the D string, we've got to skip over the G. Now can you see how there's a tie attached to this note here? So what that means is you're going to play that 2nd fret and you're going to hang on to it for just a little bit longer than you have the other notes, so much so that it bleeds over into the next bar. Because the note's in brackets, it means that you don't have to play it a second time, okay? So you've got O, 2, O, 2, O, 2, and it just lasts a little bit longer. Moving into the 2nd bar, you've got open G, and we're going to hammer on between the 2nd fret and the 4th fret of the G. And we're going to do that twice. Now, when we're doing that, I'd like you to keep that 2nd fret pressed down at all times because we're coming back to it. So you keep the 2nd fret pressed down, hammer onto the 4th fret, and at that point I should have 2 points of contact with that G string, okay? And then what that's going to do is all I've got to do is lift that 3rd finger off on the 4th fret, and I'm already back where I need to be to do the 2nd one. So you've got open G and then 2 hammers. And conveniently, as next note as we enter the 3rd bar, is that 2nd fret again. So it's a really good idea to keep this dude here. 3rd bar, 2, 0 on the G, ring finger up to that 4th fret, it's called an F sharp, that note, and then back to the root on the open G. Let me play all of that. Yeah, I would just rush into that 4th fret a little bit. That's by design, you'll hear it on the record. They're just jumping the gun just a little bit. Pause the video if you need to. If not, let's have a look at this next bit. Now, split this next bit into 2 chunks, so bear with me, because it's got all the double stops in it. Now, it's a really satisfying lick if you can get it, so please persevere. It's, yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff in this. This is why I wanted to look at it. So, a double stop, also known as a dyad, is going to be the where we play 2 notes at the same time. So in this case, 7 and 7, I'd like you to, rather than doing 2 fingers, I'd like you to play with 1, but I'd like you to bar it a little bit. Okay, now you don't have to do all 6 strings, just bar the ones that you need, which is 7th fret on the G, 7th fret on the B. And with your plectrum, you're going to do a short, sharp strike of those strings. Now try not to go too far, otherwise you'll catch the high E string down here, won't you? But I want you to just... It's a controlled kind of short, sharp burst. Now, while that note's ringing out, we're going to take his middle finger and we're going to hammer onto the 8, and at the same time, we're going to take his ring finger and hammer onto the 9. Yeah? And following that, we're then going to pull off. Now you have to be quite aggressive with both the pluck, the hammer and the pull off to make it fit, because we're using a clean tone. I'll talk about tones in a bit, but if you were using quite a lot of distortion, it'd be a little bit easier to stomach. Moving on, we're going to take that bar, we're going to move it down 2 frets to the 5th fret of the G and the B string, and then conveniently we've got the 7 and 7 again. So you're going to bar with the index finger and then bar with the ring and hammer on and pull off. Again, keep that 5 pressed down. Pause the video and try that for me. If not, we'll elaborate on it. So the second half of the lick, you've 2 shapes when it comes to this. You've either got the 2 notes spread over 2 frets or the 2 notes stood on top of each other. We're going to start with the 2 notes spread out. So index finger on the 3rd fret of the B, middle finger on the 4th fret of the G. You're going to pluck those notes and then you're going to hammer and pull off to 5 and 5 with the ring finger. Sorry. So it's the same motion. You've 3 groups of that. Once you get to this point, you're going to do what's called a chromatic run. You're going to move the shape down a fret, play it, so that's your 2 and your 3. Move it down again, that's your 1 and your 2. And then you're just going to let go. Let me put both those 2 dudes together for you. Pause the video if you need to. Such a cool lick. So, tones. I'm using the Telecaster for this on the middle position, so it's a blend of both pickups. And then I'm using Boss Katana on the clean channel. Gain and volume at 12, reverb at probably about 10 o'clock. Not loads and loads and loads. If you're using a guitar with humbuckers, just use a little bit more treble, okay? Start with everything at 12 o'clock and then salt and pepper to taste. If you want it to sound a little bit brighter, turn the treble up. If you want it to sound a little bit darker, turn the treble down and add a little bit of bass into it. Less is more with that kind of tone, and it's quite difficult to play clean, really crystal clean, and everything to be heard. And it's a really good exercise for us as students of the guitar to do that. So if you got some value out of today's video, please like and subscribe. Apparently 70% of the people that watch my videos on the internet are not subscribed to the channel, which is crazy because I do 2 or 3 guitar lessons a week. So if you like watching my stuff, please, that's the best way that you can support us. A free PDF is available on the KGS Facebook group, first link in the description, and I will see you next week for another lead guitar lesson. Thank you so much.